Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Warning! This video is a candid exploration of the 1989 Grant Morrison graphic novel, Arkham Asylum, A Serious House on Serious Earth. This video may also include discussions of violence, sexual situations, and drug use. By viewing beyond this point, you take responsibility for choosing to watch this video. All views expressed in this video are mine alone, and do not reflect any person or people, or any group or groups. Thank you, and please have a great day.
Hello and welcome to this video. I hope everyone's having fun. I hope everyone's having a good life. And I hope the universe is treating you fairly. Today's video, we are going to be looking at Arkham Asylum by Grant Morrison. Originally published in 1989. I was fresh out of high school when this book came out. In fact, here is the original one that I bought back then. I may have actually bought this hardcover or this graphic novel in 90 or 91. But what I have here is my reader copy. This copy I got not too long ago. Pulled it off the shelf and reread it. It's a good little story. The artwork on both the dust jacket and the cover are cool. It's reflecting. If I do it stand light, it's reflecting the monitor. That's kind of cool. But yeah, we'll put it here at the angle. Let's see what the back. And this is the back art. And this is back. And this is the back of the dust jacket. I'm going to leave the dust jacket off because it's a puzzle to put it on. I'll put it back on after I get done filming this video. Grant Morrison. I've done a couple other Grant Morrison books on this channel. But Grant Morrison is one of those. He's just one of those authors. And I've said this in other videos that if you're an 80s comic book kid, Grant Morrison is one of the 3M, the Trinity of 3Ms. Frank Miller, Alan Moore, Grant Morrison. They did some, if not the best, comic books in their day. They've done good comics afterward. Frank Miller, it's kind of questionable after 9/11. But these three men did some of the greatest comics of the 80s and early 90s. Because times change, mores change, culture changes. We've had other great writers, great artists come into prominence. Your Jeff Johns, your Jeff Loeb, Tom King, and people like that. Just as Jack Kirby, Stan Lee were your 60s and 70s greats. There is in my opinion, you can't have a great all-time writer simply because time changes things. Like I said, mores, culture, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, all change in time. Therefore, your artists change. Therefore, new and upcoming people that were raised in this new society or changed society write better for that, write better than the older. It's just a thing. As being an older myself, I kind of have a nostalgic, my brain probably makes them out to be greater than what they actually are. I'm going to be honest with you. It's probably a lot of nostalgia going on there, a lot of nostalgia berries. So, this is, I have to admit, I bought this, I looked through it. Actually, I looked through it and went, this art's kind of cool. Bought it, started to read it, and went, no, this is weird. I'm going to have to put this up for when I'm more in the mood for it. So I probably read it cover to cover probably 3 to 6 months after I bought it. And rereading it now, it is just awesome. And like I said, I think it's fueled by a lot of nostalgia or member berries if you're a South Park fan. The full title of this is Arkham Asylum, a serious... Hold on, let me find it in my notes. A serious house on serious ground. It is taken... I'm scrolling through my notes right now. Yeah. The full title is A Serious House on Serious Earth. And the inspiration for this story is from Philip Larkin's poem Church Going. He wrote it in the 50s. I'm going to say late 40s, early 50s. And it's a poem worth checking out. It's a good poem. But a majority of the story is inspired by the very last stanza. It's a very moving, very enjoyable psychological mystery. We start out with Batman talking with Commissioner Gordon. And he's basically, there's been a riot at Arkham Asylum. The lunatics are running the asylum, basically, and Joker's the kingpin. While simultaneously, we have a story of Amadeus Arkham, the founder of Arkham Asylum, and in some continuities, some universes, like the great-great-grandfather of Martha Wayne, whose maiden name is Arkham. And like I said, not in all continuities, and it's a relatively new thing to make Martha Wayne related to the Arkhams as a kind of a direct descendant. The two stories go hand in hand. They're told, you'll have a little bit of the Batman story, a little bit of the history, a little bit of the, and it goes that way. And basically in the story, the Arkham story, Arkham was taking care of his mother. She suffered from mental illness. She was plagued by a bat, visions of a bat, you know, encompassing or filling the house. Eventually she dies. Arkham moves, goes to college, you know, moves away, gets married, moves to Metropolis, has kids, has a daughter. He gets into psychology. He wants, because of his mother's mental illness, he wants to learn more about it. He wants to, you know, he wants to try to cure it and make people better. So he moves back to Gotham, refurbishes the house into an insane asylum. This is late 1910s, early 1920s, and I'm pretty sure this book takes place in 1989. I think it's an 89 continuity. And you can adjust it. I imagine the reader can adjust it into today or whatever if need be, or they can read it in the original time period in which it was written. By reading it in the original time period, I mean in your mind you set it, that's when it's taking place, the things that are going on in 1989. He moves back. They get a patient who's this mad killer, wreaked havoc all through Gotham. And he starts treating this person. And this person winds up going to prison. Then he escapes out of prison. He kills Arkham's wife and his daughter. Gets recaptured, and Arkham decides, you know what? He's really disturbed. I'm going to treat him. So he starts treating him again, and he's treating him. And this guy regales Arkham with tales of how he viciously and methodically raped and murdered Arkham's wife and children. And Arkham's like, all right, and we're going to give you a little electroshock therapy, help you out a little bit. And basically Arkham burns out his brain with electricity. It's one of those stories. Then in the Batman story, like I said, we have actually the book starts out with the Arkham story. I skipped to the Batman. Batman is on, with Commissioner Gordon on the rooftop of Gotham City PD, and they've got a phone, and this is before cell phones and all that good stuff. This is a landline, so somebody ran an extremely long phone extension, and basically the Joker's like, look, these are our demands. You've met all our demands. We've got one demand left, and that's we want the Batman. We want the Batman to come of his own free will to Arkham. And Batman's like, no, not going to happen, kiddos. And so we get this. He's like, oh, and you hear a woman scream. You hear like grinding in the background too, and Batman's trying to get down to what it is. And the Joker introduces this girl. He's like, yeah, this is so-and-so. She's going to Gotham community to be an artist. She's working here as a cook to get her, spare time, and she drew me some pictures with, I've got the pencil in my hand you know, you know, this wonderful, she's got wonderful eye, this, that, and the other thing. And too bad if something would happen to it. And Batman's like, I'm not coming to Arkham. Then you hear the lady scream. And Batman's like, guess I gotta go now. And he pulls Gordon to the side. He tells Gordon's like, look, you don't have to go. We can hit it with a SWAT team, blah this, blah that. And Batman's like, no. I have to go. Because I have to know. I have to know if the Joker's right about me. If I go there, can I leave? Or if I go there, will it be like going home? And Gordon's like, hey, look, you do what you do you. I'm going to prepare for a worst case thing. And he goes to Arkham. He meets with the Joker. This is when it's revealed that it's April 1st. April Fool's Day. Joker pushes the woman toward Batman, and she's seemingly all right. Probably got some issues for the rest of her life, but she's seemingly all right. And basically, the Joker's like, look, you need to loosen up. You need to chill out. And there's some homoerotic play between the Joker and Batman. Basically the Joker's coming on him, gives him grabs a big old handful of bat butt, and and basically the Batman calls him a degenerate at that point. He's like, look, if you can go through this entire asylum, talk to the inmates, and come back out, you're good, but I don't think you can. I think you'll get in there and want to stay. It'll be like home. And like I said, it's like he told Gordon, I have to know. So he goes through, he meets Mad Hatter, Two-Face, Killer Croc. Killer Croc he actually fights. And a couple of the doctors and stuff. And he finds out there's Dr. Cavendish, who himself has his cheese has slid off the cracker, hit the floor, and skittered across the floor. So he goes through. There's an interesting thing between the Mad Hatter. The Mad Hatter, or Jarvis Tesh, has been portrayed many different ways in the Batman comics. In this one, he's kind of portrayed as a pederast. He makes a comment about liking really young blonde girls, and it's kind of unnerving. It's kind of creepy. It's very creepy, and the art with this is just amazingly creepy. We also find out that one of the psychiatrists has been trying to wean Harvey Dent off the coin flip. For those of you who aren't familiar with Harvey Dent or Two-Face, all his major decisions are made by a coin flip. It's an old school silver dollar. One side is scarred up, and the other side is clean and pristine and polished. And if it comes up the clean side, or heads, it's a good thing. If it comes up with the scarred side, it's not so good. So Batman sees this. The psychiatrist is basically, he's went from the coin to dice, and now he's using a tarot deck. Um, the and because he's either slowly adapting or not adapting, it's not made real clear. It's kind of left up to the reader's interpretation that he can't make a decision. In fact, he can't even decide whether or not he needs to get up and go use the bathroom. And Joker makes commentary about, oh, Harvey's just pissed himself again. You know, kind of like a dog peeing on the floor. That's just the kind of tone the Joker takes with it. It's just like, oh, Harvey's pissed himself again, you know. What are we going to do? Got to potty train him. And there's all these different facets of insanity as they go through. At the very end, Batman gets Harvey's coin back to him. And now we're left at the decision. The Joker, being chaotic and crazy, it's like, look, you know, he's trying to crawfish on his deal. And Batman's like, hey, I've got Harvey's coin. I'll give him his coin. We'll let him flip the coin. We'll let him decide if I stay here or go. Harvey flips the coin, catches the coin, looks at the coin and says, you're free to go. Batman leaves. Then one of the very last panels, Harvey Dent reveals to the reader that it came up the scratch side. Which leads you to wonder, is Harvey Dent Two-Face thanking him for the return of the coin that way? Or does Harvey believe that Batman being out in the world is more of a cage for Batman than being in the asylum? Is the world crazier than the asylum? And it's, you know, it's a wonderful story. The art, I like that kind of art. Well, I like a lot of art. My art tastes are very I mean, it's not very. It's not very small. I have a huge enjoyment of art, so it is what it is. I strongly recommend this book. I strongly recommend, if certain things upset you, bother you, open and candid discussions of mental health bother you, give it a skip. But if it's something you're interested in, the graphics floating around give you an idea of the art, check it out. I enjoy it, but I enjoy a lot of stuff, so you gotta take that with a grain of salt. And until next time, be a good human. Be good to other humans. Peace.
Hey, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?